Hello everyone, I just got done revisiting Judgment. I swear to god every single time I revisit that game I love it even more. But anyway, I'm hoping to catch up with the RGG games as soon as I can because I want to play Like a Dragon Gaiden, which I still haven't received, but it should arrive in the coming days. However, another game coming out this month is Storm Connections, something that I'm much less excited about. Like, I'll play the Boruto original story because it's the only thing that seems somewhat new content, but as far as like the history mode or whatever the fuck they're calling, that's a complete waste of time. I'm not even gonna bother touching that. You know what I would rather do? Literally just revisit the previous Storm games. But that's actually what inspired me to make this video. You see, back in 2017, the Storm Trilogy was remastered and released for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and later on the Nintendo Switch. Now, for the most part, I think re-experiencing these games through this remastered collection is perfectly fine. For the most part, they did preserve the authenticity of those games, and you get a resolution boost from 720p to 1080p, so you're not losing out on much. Now, I do have some like minor gripes. For example, with Storm 1, I wish they at least tried to fix the clunky inputs from the original game. Funnily enough, they are somewhat mitigated when you play this game at 60 FPS on PC due to the lower latency, although I would seriously not recommend you play any of these games at 60 FPS because they'll break the QuickTime events. But anyway, they didn't fix it, and they also didn't fix the slowdowns during Awakenings in Storm 2 and 3, even though this doesn't happen anymore in Storm 4. Not sure why they couldn't apply whatever solution they came up with Storm 4 when they remastered these games, but whatever, I guess. I also wish they bothered to preserve the Goku outfit in Storm 3 since none of us have access to that anymore due to it being an exclusive pre-order bonus. However, if these are my only concerns, honestly, at least for Storm 1 and 3, I would be willing to put up with them and still play the remasters. However, when it comes to Storm 2, this is where we have a bit of a huge problem. You see, Storm 2 is actually missing crucial musical tracks. Firstly, when you select Free Battle, the BGM is missing the flute part of the song, although this is a pretty minor one, and if you have the PC port, there's actually a mod you can download that restores the original flute. However, what is still missing is Lightless Struggle that plays during the fight between Pain and Jiraiya, and the other one is White Hot Battle at the Summit, which plays during the last battle between Naruto and Pain. Now, in the grand scheme of things, this might not seem like a big deal, but for me it is. In my opinion, this makes the experience genuinely worse than the original. I mean, with Lightless Struggle, the music adds a lot of emotional weight during that tragic fight, so them removing it legitimately just makes it an inferior experience than what I would get for me visiting this game on a PS3. And if the only benefit I'm getting is a resolution bump, then you know what? Fuck it. I'll do it myself. Here's the PlayStation 3 build for Storm 2 running at 1080p, thanks to good old RPCS 3. Now, PlayStation 3 games aren't typically the easiest things to emulate, but the Storm games are actually pretty playable. I've spent some time playing through Storm 1 and 2, and they're frankly not difficult to run. It's pretty amazing. Now, as much as I would like to say that RPCS 3 is the definitive way of playing Storm 2 Hallelujah emulation, there is one problem. Actually, my friends, I'm gonna have to interrupt this video for a second because, you see, if I had followed the script of my video, I would have followed this up by saying that emulating Storm 2 with RPCS 3 does have one drawback, and that is the fact that the pre-rendered cutscenes at some point eventually get delayed. And the thing is, this was an issue that I tried looking up like in the forums to see if this was like a known issue with Storm 2, but I just couldn't find any solution. And I was even going to mention the fact that Storm Generations has a kind of a similar issue in which the opening sequence, it's not so much that the cutscene gets delayed, it plays too fast. Like the cutscene actually plays too fast, and that issue is actually easy to fix. You just have to set the frame limit to PlayStation 3 native. But with Storm 2, that solution didn't really work. And for a while I thought to myself, oh man, like as long as this issue still persists, then it kind of becomes like a situation where I have to pick between emulating this or playing it on a bare PlayStation 3, which, you know, I guess I could do, but if I can emulate it and get a high resolution, I'm always gonna prefer that. But the reason why I had to cut that part out is because I actually did find a solution, and that is, let me open settings just one second. So you see here where it says buffering. So normally enable buffering is already checked, but if enable time stretching isn't checked, make sure to check it, because at least for me, that fixed the issue. So honestly, from now on, I want to play Storm 2 on a fucking emulator, because I don't know, I find it to be a better experience. And also, if you have the same issue on Storm 1, it's probably also gonna work. One thing I'm actually very curious though is checking if the issue I was also experiencing with Ryuga Gotoku 1 and 2, in which the subtitles would get out of sync. I want to see if that also is fixed by enabling time stretching. But yeah, this is pretty good news. And yeah, honestly, if you have the PlayStation 3 copy of Storm 2, back it up, play it on an emulator, because it might genuinely be a better experience. And that's pretty much it. Take care.